Hi, my name is Ned, and I'm going to show you some neat things about electricity. For starters, what do you think of these glasses? I'm trying to look like Benjamin Franklin, a famous American politician and scientist. Ben wore glasses like these. Come with me. Ben Franklin did a famous experiment about electricity. I'm going to show his experiment as part of my project for my science class. Ben used a kite, a string, and a big metal key. He tied the key to the kite string near the end he held. Then, he flew the kite during a thunderstorm with heavy rain. Hey, Kelly, please come here a minute. Help me out by holding this string. When lightning hit the kite, the electricity ran down the wet kite string and caused a spark on the key. This experiment proved that lightning is a form of electricity. But don't ever try this experiment yourself. It's dangerous. Ben was lucky he wasn't killed. I found this great picture of lightning for my report. Lightning is caused by a kind of electricity called static electricity.
Static electricity?
That's right. Here's another example of static electricity. If you slide your feet across the carpet like this, and then touch a doorknob, you may feel a tiny shock. You might even hear a crackle or see a spark. Well, that's static electricity. Both that spark and a lightning bolt are caused by static electricity. Let me show you some other neat stuff that I'm getting ready to take to school for my project. I can show you a great trick with static electricity as soon as I blow up this balloon. Okay, if Kelly will just stand still. That's it, Kel. I'm going to rub the balloon on her hair. Then when I lift the balloon, just above Kelly's head, some of her hair rises up and sticks to the balloon. Static electricity makes it happen. For my project, I am explaining how it works. This balloon, and every other object in the world, is made of tiny particles. They are so small that you can't see them, even through a microscope. These particles have electrical charges. Here, I'll draw some charges on the balloon. Even though you can't see the actual charges, let's pretend. The pluses are positive charges, and the minuses are negative charges. Usually a balloon, like all other objects, has exactly the same number of positive charges and negative charges. Here's what happens with the balloon. When I rub it on hair, some negative charges move from the hair to the balloon. I can explain it better with my drawings. After the girl rubs the balloon on her hair, the balloon has more negative charges and the hair has more positive charges. When the girl lifts the balloon up a little, the positively charged hair is attracted by the negatively charged balloon because negative and positive charges attract each other. Hey, Kelly, would you please bring Fluffy over here? I want to try something. If I rub a balloon on Fluffy's fur, I wonder if static electricity will make Fluffy's fur rise. It works! Static electricity is produced when negative charges from Fluffy's fur rub off onto the balloon. Then, the positively charged hair moves toward the negatively charged balloon.
Poor Fluffy. I'll bet that tickled. I'm taking Fluffy back to my room now.
Aw, come on, Kelly. Oh well. Anyway, static electricity is just one kind of electricity. You probably know more about the other kind, current electricity. When you turn on a radio, you use current electricity. There. current electricity is a controlled flow of electrical charges. Now let me unplug the radio for a minute. Electrical charges can flow through a path, such as this wire, kind of like water moving through a hose. To have a flow of charges, you must have a source of electrical energy. This battery is one source of electrical energy. Scientists call this kind of battery a dry cell. I made a drawing of a dry cell to show how it works. A dry cell has a case made of a metal called zinc. Inside, there is a rod made of carbon. The carbon rod is surrounded by a chemical paste. Chemical reactions between the paste and the zinc case will cause charges to flow through the carbon rod when the battery is in use. Batteries come in many different sizes and shapes. I am going to use this bigger, more powerful battery to build a circuit for my science project. Here, I've attached a yellow wire to the battery and to this little round buzzer. Notice that the buzzer isn't making any sound. That's because the electric current from the battery doesn't have a complete path to follow. Now I've attached one end of another wire, a white one, to the battery. When I attach the other end of the white wire to the buzzer, the current will flow in a complete circular path. There! Now you hear the buzzer. The current is flowing through the buzzer in a complete path. This complete path is called a circuit. Now watch this. I'm adding a switch to the circuit. I'm moving one end of the white wire to the switch. Then I'll use one of these little red wires to connect the switch to the buzzer. When the lever is up, the switch is open. This means that the circuit is broken or incomplete. The electric charges cannot flow across the gap in the switch, and the buzzer can't buzz. But then, when I flip the switch down, I close the gap. Now the buzzer works because the electricity is flowing in a complete circuit. You can see that a circuit is like a circular path. A flashlight has a switch too. When I flick the switch on, I complete a circuit, and the light goes on. I've done some drawings to show what happens inside a flashlight. Here you can see two dry cells, or batteries, and a light bulb. When I turn the switch on, a metal strip moves up inside the case and touches a piece of metal near the bulb, completing a circuit. Now the electrical charges have a complete path to follow. I have drawn arrows to show how the charges move. The charges travel down the carbon rods, up the metal strip, and through the bulb, and the bulb lights up. There. I'll put my flashlight pictures on the board. I'm going to take this whole display to school. A computer, like a flashlight, uses current electricity. But my computer doesn't get its power from a dry cell. When I put this plug into a wall outlet, the electricity enters the computer through this wire. The electricity in the outlet comes from a power plant. Just like the computer, this fan uses current electricity. Let me tell you something else about a fan. There is a motor inside this fan. Part of the motor becomes a magnet when the electricity flows through it. That part is called an electromagnet. When I turn the fan on, electricity flows through the motor, and the motor makes the blades go around. The motor has to have an electromagnet to work. Doorbells and telephones have electromagnets too. I found another picture for my report. This is a giant electromagnet picking up scrap metal in a junkyard. When the person operating the machine turns off the electricity, the magnetism stops, and the scrap metal will drop. Isn't it amazing what electricity can do? The electricity that powers electromagnets, fans, and lights is a form of energy. This electrical energy is usually produced at huge power plants by big machines called generators. Each generator in this picture is taller than a person. I drew a diagram of a power plant for my project. The plant I drew uses the force of falling water to push the moving parts of a generator, and the generator produces electric current. Some power plants use coal or nuclear energy instead of water. Power lines such as these carry the electricity from the power plant to other wires that reach your home. There, the electricity is ready and waiting when you switch on lamps and other appliances, including the computer. For the last part of my presentation, I'm going to take this disc to school. I've drawn some graphics that I'll show on the school computer. The pictures are all about safety tips to remember when dealing with electricity. The first safety tip is this: stay away from water when you use a hairdryer or any electrical gadget. That's supposed to be my sister drying her hair. My next tip is, always unplug an iron when you stop using it. Even if you aren't finished ironing, if you have to leave the iron, unplug it. The next tip follows right along. Always remember to hold the plug, not the cord, when you unplug something. Here's my favorite graphic. The safety tip is, when you fly a kite, make sure you stay away from power lines. If your kite hit the lines, you could get a terrible shock. Lightning may be great to watch, but it can be very dangerous. Here's the tip. Don't stand under a tree during a thunderstorm. Go inside a house if you can. If you are in an open field, crouch down low. You will be less likely to be hit by lightning. The tip here is, don't play with electric outlets. Everyone in my family had to help Kelly learn this rule when she was little. Playing around with wall outlets is really dangerous. Here's my last safety tip. Never stick a metal object in a toaster, not even to get out a piece of toast that got stuck. Ask an adult to help get it out. If you stick something metal in a toaster, you could get a serious electric shock. Phew, done at last. I think I've covered it all. Static electricity, current electricity, circuits, switches, and safety tips. I'm going to need help to get all this stuff to school. Oh, I almost forgot. Here's my last graphic. The end.